evening and welcome to Inside Asia. Today we continue our discussion with Professor Pajarie on the roots of Thailand, its culture, and how Thailand has developed into a modern society. So stay tuned. Can you explain to us how we came this far to found the capital of Ayutthaya?
The founding of Ayutthaya when the King U Thong, the first king, just conquered the other states at that time, established the first capital of Ayutthaya.
In the ancient times, we didn't have any map.
Right.
We didn't have any boundaries.
Yes, right.
Because the different tribes or peoples, they just stay together.
The idea of the concept of map comes from the Westerns. Yes. At that time of the Narai, King Narai period at Ayutthaya, and you see this map, it comes from the French. Yeah.
Then came the founding of Bangkok in the year 1782
Right.
by King Rama I or King Yot Pha. It was obvious that he drew the inspiration, from the old capital, from Ayutthaya. So Bangkok, in his vision, he would like to recreate Ayutthaya in the new capital. So there were several similarities between the old capital and the new capital, Bangkok. Could you explain further? This is like a touch and play, right?
Yes, like the palace. There is a temple in the palace. And the Emerald Temple is in the palace, the King Palace, like in the Wat Assistsant in Ayutthaya, as in the King Palace.
That serves as a nucleus, symbolic nucleus, of the new capital.
Right, and then to me that the nucleus, the glorious time of Ayutthaya come to Bangkok.
I see.
Like the name of Bangkok, that is city of angels, that city of heaven.
So in a sense, there was an unbroken line or connectivity between the old capital and the new capital.
Right. This is a point that the King Rama would like to just establish our capital of Bangkok. There's a continuity. The glorious times from Ayutthaya come to Bangkok. And then the place is the same, everything the same. The swing, see that?
I see.
Yeah. Many places.
And also the river.
Yeah, the river. Yeah, the Chao Phraya River. And the island. Ayutthaya and Bangkok is an island. Yeah, and the location the same.
So this is the Ratanakosin Island.
And this is Ayutthaya Island.
Ayutthaya Island. Yes.
So
fantastic.
Yeah, the recreation.
The faithful recreation of Ayutthaya. traditional way of the Thai life revolves around rice, bamboo, and animism, not iPhone 4, McDonald's, or Starbucks. Can you explain, how this work out?
Rice, like a greeting, like the way of life, like the ceremony, and our food. So it's one of the fundamentalism of our civilization and our culture, and it's our way of life. And then the bamboo, like a bamboo house, a boat, and equipment, tools, and everything you do, it's bamboos. And that the respect of the Mother Earth, respect of we call animism, everything around us. And this is the spirit of time until nowadays. You remember about the Lai Katong festival that we respect the river, the water.
Pay respect to the mother water.
Mother water. And the rice, somebody just pay respect after they eat rice or wine. It's a mother of rice, or we call in Thai, Mae Po Sop. And this is to show the characteristics of Thai people, that we respect the nature and that we are a very resourceful country. And we have to maintain and keep that, as Kun Thanong said. Don't forget our root and our way of life.
And this model clearly shows how the Thai peoples in the old days lived. They work in the farmland,
Right.
and they did the plowing, and then their house was built from very
Bamboo.
basic materials that could gather around the area, principally bamboo.
Principally bamboo, and with like a knockdown method. Yeah, they can move. They do have a concrete method, like we have nails and everything, but we can just a very simple one.
So essentially, they live very closely in harmony with nature.
Right.
Then came a big change during the reign of King Mongkut or King Rama IV.
Yeah, that was first a start because he studied the language from the bishop
I see.
as a Latin.
At that time, we started to see a change, from the old world to the new world.
Right.
Siam was at a crossroads. Could you explain further from this?
Because
The Westerners started to come.
the Westerner, the French,
Siam.
to Siam. And then the king of Thailand, he knew that we cannot live as we were in the old days.
We could not stay isolated.
Yes, right. So he studied languages, and for the King Rama V, he traveled to the Western countries and come back with what the Western country have. What we have, that is the first avenue or first road that we call Jaran Glung. We haven't seen a big road like this before, and that road changed our life, our Thai people life, because we live in the water city, near the river,
we used to be called Venice of the East.
Right.
Communications, by boating,
Boats,
by the rivers.
By the rivers, right.
Was the main transport.
But when we have the first avenue or first road, big road, we travel by horse at the first time and then to the car. And that has changed the life of people from a slow life near the river by traveling, by boating, as you said, to the car. The rapid, the speed of the Thai people changed at that time. We no longer live along the river, but now we have a shop house along the road. And that
So,
we
yeah.
changed a lot to ourselves.
So the Westerners came with printing, vaccinations,
Right.
of course, religions, I mean Christianity, trying to get into this country. And also other knowledge, medicines and
Medicine, science.
and other disciplines, science. And our King Mongkut, he stayed in monkhood for several years. I mean, probably 20 years.
Yes.
And then during that time, he studied astrology.
Astrology.
Yeah, and also science, the knowledge, and also
knowledge.
language, the English language.
He had a vision.
Yeah, to a very good level. I mean, and that's how he knew, how to navigate
Yeah.
Thailand during that turbulent period. When the Westerners tried to colonize this part of the world. So, what's the main factors that help us to escape? Colonialism. From the principled colonists, say like British or the French.
I think that's our king diplomatic concept that he had to make friends with Russia.
I see.
Yeah, and that we just like the balance
Yeah, he
between.
tried to balance the relationship with the superpowers at that time.
Right. With the
Which was-
Tsar,
yeah, which
and
was-
then he
yeah.
sent his son to be a stepson of the Tsar, like a Prince Jakapong. Yeah.
But at the same time, we have to cede territories, to the
to
to the Western powers.
Right. And but other part of the northeast, like Siam Reap, Patabong, Sisopon to the French, and at the south, Siberia, Trang Tranganu to the British.
What was the atmosphere at that time? The Burmese fell to the British and also India and on the Indo-Chinese countries.
Laos and Cambodia to the French,
And in the south of Thailand,
to the British,
Malayu
to the British. But we only won at the center.
so it was quite an uneventful period for the Siamese people
Yeah.
during that time.
Now's the day, like we have to our king, to his vision.
The exhibitions that are held in the Museum of Siam are meant to communicate with their audience. The presentation is based on the concept of discovery learning with the determined objective to encourage Thai society to become a society of lifelong learning. The exhibition, The Occult of Thailand, narrates the evolution of the people in Southeast Asia from a different perspective. The story begins with the period of Suvarnabhumi, or 3,000 years ago, and ends with the present-day Thailand. Then came the birth of modern Thailand in 1932.
Right.
Not very long soon after World War I.
Right.
We had a revolution that put an end to absolute monarchy. What happened during that period?
Because there was a group of people who study in the Western countries and come with the idea of democracy, and that he would like to change, our land to be like a Western, but it's not an appropriate time. I think that, and that's it makes some problems to us until now today.
The transition was not smooth.
Yes, right.
And how do you describe democracy the Thai way? What does it mean?
Democracy in the Thai ways mean that it's only a group of people who have power just come and rule the country.
Yeah, grab power without actually distributing the benefits to the majority of the Thai people.
Right.
But then the people, they said that they have the rights to vote.
But it's only for a group of people that they vote for.
Then came a big change in the 1960s. We started to embrace consumerism with new modernity. We had very modern movie theaters. What happened to Bangkok during that time?
Bangkok have a first mall we call Wang Burapha, and with 3 theaters, as you say, Grand, King or Queen, and the people just embrace the concept of Americanism, like wear jeans, eat Coca-Cola or Coke, and go to the coffee shop like this. And this is a starting point of consumerism until now today. Lots of more.
That period also coincided with the Vietnam War.
Right.
We started to see the U.S. Military servicemen coming to our country, and with different military bases throughout different parts of the country. And that also influenced, our society, our way of life.
Yes, right.
We would like to become American, right?
I think that the teenagers at that time just imitate the singers like Elvis Presley or the stars at that time. But you see that the left side, we just portray how bad of the Vietnam War too. Just as coincidence that in Thailand, it's a happy life. People eat, drink, and go out. But in Vietnam, the people suffering. Coincidence at that time. And that is a shame in our society.
Many cars started to crowd the Bangkok street, unlike in the past previous decades.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the standard of living of the people started to improve at the same time, you mean?
Not the quality of life, but people think that they have
more material
wealth, right. Until now today, it's like this is what to show that we think that now today we have materials, what we have like iPhone, iPad, but how about our quality of life? How about peace of mind? Yeah.
But then the people at that period, their lifestyle was to go to the pub and do some dancing.
Yeah, right, because they don't think much about that. And they have I think that by that society, we have just children of half foreigners and half Thai. Yeah, until now today, we have lots of children who comes from the father of the Western countries.
And that was the start of a wave of migrations of the Thai people living in the upcountry, moving into Bangkok during that time.
Yeah, yes, it's a point at this time. This is a wave of migration that we have to seek the materialism.
Now we'll come to the
Last room.
Last section of Museum Siam. It looks like an empty room, and what is this for?
Or this room is we call Thailand Tomorrow.
Thailand of Tomorrow.
Yes, Thailand of Tomorrow. The objective of this room is that as we Thai be part of the countries, you have to give the opinions of our country in the futures because you belong to this country. Chinthammit, would you please just write or draw anything about our country in the next decade?
So my vision of what would become of Thailand over the next decade. I'm not a very good drawer, okay? But
you can explain what you are drawing to us, saying it, and then please come to the wall, and your drawing will appear as a bubble above your head. You have to wait a little. Yeah, right. Would you please just explain what are you drawing?
So my vision of Thailand over the next decade is a moving back of time to the glory of Suvarnabhumi. You know, I would love to see Thailand retaining its original status as the golden land, and not only Thailand but also our neighbors. As we know, that Suvarnabhumi originally consisted of Siam, Burma, and the Indo-Chinese country, and also the southern part of China and the Malayu Peninsula. So hopefully all of these countries, you know, can come together as one big part of Suvarnabhumi, linked through Buddhism, I think, at least, you know, without any borders, without any territories. But we might speak different languages, or we might have some slight difference in the culture, but then we have we share a fundamental belief in Buddhism, so that this area can truly become the land of Suvarnabhumi.
Yes, it's an excellent idea, and we would like to be one day, as Chinthammit said, because we are all brothers and sisters who lived about 3,000 years ago together at this golden land, and we hope to live together as brothers and sisters.
About the Thai way of life, and also how Thailand has become a modern country. Good night. Sawadee krap.